All right, Russ, another day, another dollar.
Yeah. All right. If you're joining us live, you're going to get to see the backstage pass to our monthly passive income report. Finally got the stallion back on US soil. Grateful for you to be here, bro.
Man, always good.
And we're gonna talk about how we made 360% return last month on our money. Now, if we put that out on YouTube, like that was a title, people would be like, that's a scam. We'd probably get all the FTC non-compliance to that. So we're going to break that down just so everybody knows, right, how that actually worked. But we're about to do the podcast. So as you're getting a chance to listen in live, you'll get to see what everybody else will have to wait weeks to get. So, all right, Stallion, you ready to go?
I'm ready when you are.
All right, let's do the same. Stallion, we talk a lot about the passive income operating system. This is the proven financial architecture that we use to convert active income into passive income. Today on the podcast, we're going to break down how we've used that to produce $36,000 net last month.
But 36 sounds a little low, Russ. I don't know why are you using that number?
Well, we made 46,000, but it cost us 10,000 to pay the insurance company because we used their money to do all this stuff.
All right. Well, that's going to break down. If you have never even heard the term infinite banking, you never even heard somebody using a life insurance policy or number of policies to turn active income into passive income, that's the reason that you need to tune in to today's podcast.
Yes, we're going to break this down. If you're watching on YouTube, you're going to get to actually see us go through each and every slide and talk about how we did it, all the specific architecture steps within there. So we're going to do all of that right after this break. Let's jump in right now. All right, Sal, you ready?
Let's do it.
All right, today we're going to break down the passive income architecture around our passive income operating system. Now, one of the things that we talk about is that financial freedom is when your passive income exceeds monthly expenses. The problem, though, is that so many of us, we make a lot of money. We can be income rich, but we feel kind of cash poor. Like, man, I don't know how I'm going to create the cash flow because I don't even have any cash to put anywhere. We have this, need to keep up with all of our friends, the Joneses, if you will, or in my world, it's the Murrays, right? or thirdly, we have a feeling that we make a lot of income, but we have no passive income.
Yeah, I will say for me, Russ, just this takes me back to those times when I was in the mortgage business. I was working really hard. I had a lot of income to show for it, but I didn't feel successful, right? I didn't feel like there was actually financial success happening. I was staying out of debt, but that's really all I could point to. I didn't have some massive amount of money somewhere. I didn't have anything else doing the heavy lifting besides me. I was the only asset at work, and my time and my energy and my health actually took a tumble as a result. And so that's why I think I'm so passionate about what we're talking about today is, man, giving people a different path, because if that seems like a dead end, it is. Yeah. And that's why we're bringing this to you live today.
Well, we've got to become an opportunity magnet. You've heard the saying that cash is what creates opportunities, or another way, opportunities find cash. Well, if we get in that position, we can do more of what we want to versus what we have to. Many of us love the jobs, the careers, the businesses that we've created, but unfortunately, we have to go work because if we don't, we can't do all those fun things. Well, the objective for us today is to talk about how do we build a system, an architecture that allows our money to constantly be creating money while we sleep. That is the concept of turning active income into passive income. So Stallion, I'm going to share for those watching on YouTube's that they can see kind of the basic architecture we break. One, we figure out what is the amount of money that we bring in every single month, and we organize it. We get it we get it in buckets, not in a bucket, but into buckets, right? Like, I think that the simplest thing to always be able to do with our money is to realize how much do we have coming in income every single month. versus how much are we spending? Because if passive income greater than monthly expenses is the equation to financial freedom, if we don't understand every month what's going out in our monthly expenses, how are we ever going to be able to get over that hump?
Exactly. You don't know how to keep score. It's like having an opponent that you have no idea what the number is on the other side. So you're just shooting in the dark.
So once you organize your income versus expenses, you separate those on your personal side, then you have excess money. You have a place to go store it. You've probably heard us talk about on this podcast a lot, this concept of the infinite banking concept. All that really amounts to is us storing our cash in a dividend paying whole life contract, creating cash values that allow our money to be liquid, protected, and tax efficient so that, Joey, we can go out and start investing those dollars, putting those dollars to work to create assets. True?
That's true. And if you're not watching what we're doing here live on YouTube, I'm going to give you an audio kind of quick breakdown of what Russ has just lined out here. As the money from your active income comes into a checking account that's outlined just for income, it then is pushed down to your expenses, and any excess is swept over away from your regular everyday checking account into this infinite banking system. Why do we do that? Because once we push that out over into this IBC system, it's no longer in a position where it can be spent. It's pushed over to where now I can be proactive about becoming an investor. I can be proactive about when I pay off debts and when I don't. Be proactive about paying my taxes each year as a business owner, let's say. So there's a real clear delineation between what you're spending and then what you're actually saving and investing. And that's what IBC allows you to do when you outline it the way that we have it here on the screen. So
if you want all the steps of this too, we kind of break this out in our latest book. You can go to wallstreet.com/new book and get a copy. But in there, we talk about the infinite banking concept. We talk about actually how we go through this process to turn our active income into passive income. So definitely don't miss out on an opportunity to learn more about infinite banking. Go buy our new book, What's What Wall Street, 3 Steps to Freedom Through Passive Income. All right, Stallion, let's go a little deeper here. People who don't understand how infinite banking works don't realize that we put dollars in these insurance policies, and then instead of taking them out in the form of cash withdrawals and that stopping the compounding curve of our money, we actually borrow against those cash values. So our cash continues to grow on this curve, up and away, if you will. And we get the ability to use it to go do other things. They call that uninterrupted compounding.
Well, and just in case you're trying to follow what Russ is saying here, and you've never even heard this concept, I want you to think about in your house, as you've owned your house for a number of years, something has happened, right? The value of that home has gone up. Let's say in general, on the whole, your house value goes up. And the difference between what you owe the bank and what your house is worth is called equity, right? That's the amount of money that is no longer owed to that bank. You can now go somewhere, let's say to another bank, and borrow against the equity in your home, like a line of credit. Take a line of credit, and you can go take that money and start investing it in other homes, rental properties, or businesses, or whatever the case may be. And people understand that all day long. But now that's exactly what's happening in a whole life contract. As you own a whole life contract, it is contractually growing, not based on the market, not based on whether your neighbor sold their house for a fire sale or not, but as a guaranteed contract. It's growing every single year. And that equity is available. I borrow against that equity in my life insurance contract to go do all the things we're going to talk about today in terms of buying assets to create passive income. So continue.
Well, so IBC sits in the middle. When we have money, we now can use it to buy assets, or we can use it to pay off debts, taxes, to reduce monthly expenses. That's the process, right? Is how do we do that most efficiently and effective could get us there. So Joey, you and I have been doing this infinite banking concept for the last 15 years. We've built a 40 policy system that kind of has an unfair advantage because we have so much capital. We've been storing it away. So if you're listening to this for the first time, you're like, well, Russ, Joey, I'm just now starting. I haven't even started. No worries. Go to what'swallstreet.com/free call. We'll set you up with one of our coaches over at Strategic IBC. They can help you design and implement a system specifically for you. The best time to plant a tree was 25 years ago. In our case, it was 15 years ago. For yours, it's today, right? Like if you haven't
Exactly.
started, just get started. It's fine. No big deal. But what we do is we use this system to go out and buy assets. We buy assets based upon our investor DNA. If you don't know what your investor DNA is, that's an important thing to figure out. Our team can help you do that. So when you're on that call, just ask them, say, hey, can you help me understand what my investor DNA is? What are the things I should be investing in based upon who I am, the way God made me? Not all of us are made the same. True?
That's right.
All right, let's jump in, and I want to talk about specifically what did we invest in last month that produced this $46,000 a month net for us.
Right. So let's break it down really quickly. And by the way, if you have not heard our passive income report each and every single month, you can go back and listen to those to get a lot more depth here. But for today's purposes, we wanted to break down specifically kind of like the behind the scenes of how the money part worked. So I'm just going to quickly lay these out for you. Well, we have a land business that produced about $22,579 net to us that's completely run by an operating team at thelandgeek.com. If you want to learn more about that, check out thelandgeek.com. We buy and sell raw land on terms to other people that creates a note income that comes in every single month, and it goes up every single month as that team continues to buy and sell land for us.
And we also partner sometimes with land investors to do some one-off side deals. So we actually partner with a guy doing land deals, and we made an additional $1,100 last month from that kind of side partnership.
That's right. Good point. We also had a short-term rental business, and we actually have a course in our community on how to do the exact same thing we did. We had a operator that built that for us, and we actually sold that business to him about a year ago. And as a result, he's been paying us on owner financing to purchase that business. Last month, it was just at $3,000 in terms of that payment. And it fluctuates month to month because the cash flow in that business is somewhat seasonal.
Well, the next thing that I'm looking down here, and some of you are like, "Oh, I just assume if you guys were earning passive income, it would be because you were doing real estate." Well, we do have a rental property in here. This is one long-term rental that Joey owns that you actually rent out to the short-term rental operator so that he can use the arbitrage model. People understand the arbitrage model is when you don't actually own the real estate, you just rent from someone else and then turn around and rent it at a higher rate on Airbnb and VRBO. Well, you are on both sides of that, right? You are getting collection checks from the short-term rental space, but also you had a long-term rental there. So that's pretty cool. Now, for some of you guys, we also run an affiliate business, right? This media is intentional, and the fact that we want to share what we're doing with you. Some of the things that we do, people actually will pay us if you do business with them. Joey and I are always the first customers of those companies. Like we talk about the Land Geek. Well, the Land Geek is one of the businesses that we signed up for first. We learned the business before we ever started doing it. We did the e-commerce stuff. Maybe you've heard the team of Voltage on here, and you want to figure out how to create a brand on Amazon. Maybe be one of these, people who are selling and living the laptops lifestyle. Well, we've done business with them. One of the most recent ones we did is that we learned how to buy online businesses on here, Joey. So one of the things that you bought was a content website, and last month it brought in almost $2,100.
That's right. Earthlygo.com is a site that my daughter and I found. She found it. It's actually a supplement type of information site, and it tells people about how this this supplement works. And people go to those affiliates on that site and purchase the product. As a result, we get paid a commission, and in this case, it was like you said, $2,100. It is somewhat up and down based on traffic. And so actually what we're working on right now is how to create even another stream of traffic through Facebook, through a friend of mine who does Facebook marketing. And we're trying to get down to where it's almost like 43 cents every time somebody goes to one of those affiliate sites. And if I can continue to hone in how much it costs to get people to that, we might be able to even increase this even more. So I'm learning, but I'm also very much, you've probably heard me say this before, I'm not an operator. So I love to get people who have expertise in those areas, like driving traffic, for instance, and allowing them to help us grow this thing.
Well, one of the businesses that's not on here yet that we also receive affiliate commissions from when people like you and me go out and we buy this, so we make affiliate commissions on our own stuff, is the vending machine business. Maybe you heard us interview Mike Hoffman on the show recently, and our daughters went through that program recently, and we actually got our first machine ordered. Now, Joey, while you were gone, you didn't know this, but it's going to take us 8 weeks to get that machine.
Ooh,
Yes,
man.
it's going to be a little bit before we get there. But if you haven't gone and listened to the episode, go search for Mike Hoffman or what'swatchstreet.com/vending, and you can get some details on that. I'm excited because I really believe that's going to add an extra $600 to $800 a month per machine that we get up and running once we actually get it up and running. So it's going to be just a second. Now, we're obviously in the business of lending money. That's a big thing when you're in the infinite banking world. You're becoming your own banker. You're becoming the bank. So we've done lots of different private lending deals. We were in a private lending fund for a while. So last month we got paid $4,000 from that. So that was pretty good. Not a bad day for us. We love starting businesses. So a number of businesses we've started, but one of the ones that we're involved in is a candle business because Joey loves scented candles. Like if you were in his room right now, he's got at least 4 burning, all different flavors. He loves it. It's just his favorite thing. I'm kidding, but it's fun for me to say that he does that. And one of the ones that he burns is called money. And that is actually a different business that he owns. It's called 100unicorns.com.
Hey, please, stay tuned on this, folks, because we have launched on Amazon. I have an operating group with 100 unicorns, and we've got products out there now that are selling. And I'm going to tell you, Russ, you're going to be weeping very soon, my friend. It is happening. So stay tuned.
Goodness. Yeah, I'm super excited about that. If you want to, this is a new thing. If you go to wealthwithoutwallstreet.com, in the bottom right-hand corner, you'll actually get to meet our newest team member. We actually hired, Joey, while you were gone, a new team member. His name is WallE. WallE is there for you if you have a burning question or you're just bored. Basically, it's kind of an ask me anything, and WallE will tell you, I'm basically Russ and Joey's brain, but just faster. And if you go on there and you go to WallE and you say, tell me a joke, I'm typing this in as I go, tell me a joke, WallE will respond with the answer 100 unicorns. So just so you know that's an opportunity. If you need some commentary, you need some comedy, WallE is there for you. Thank you, WallE, for setting that up for me. All right, moving down the list. Not a joke though is you're doing pretty good over here in your Turo business. You're still putting some positive numbers on the board. Tell me about that.
That's right. Now, this month was a little light in August because people are there's a lot less travel happening in August, and most people are renting my 2015 Toyota minivan for longer trips and things of that nature. Like a lot of people go to Orlando, for instance, from Birmingham to go to Disney World or whatever. And so they're putting quite a bit of miles on this thing. But in this case, it was $278 net of the month, but that was after paying the operating group here in Birmingham that does everything for me. They keep me updated with, hey, this is what's going on. We had to add, this oil change or whatever the expenses are associated with it. But man, it's been great so far. And we're going to probably run it for another maybe 6 months or so before the miles get so high that it would not be, wise to continue to rent it in case something were to happen. So anyway, stay tuned.
Basically, Joey's renting his van to people who want to go places, and he had to have to do anything for it.
Exactly.
Now, we also love investing truly passively. And we have a number of different things that we got paid on last month, somewhere in the neighborhood of $4,000 or $5,000 that we didn't do anything for, and different syndications from multifamilies to private lending, mobile home parks, and other areas. And we are definitely fans of finding good operators, finding people who we want to invest in because of our either knowledge of what they're doing or experience and relationship with them. So if you go down this list, we go all the way down to the bottom, you can see where last month our net income after paying all expenses and managing the business was a little over $46,000 for our passive income system. Now, Joey, did we, if you look over here on the left, you see that in order for us to create that, we invested almost $1.8 million.
That's right.
Did we invest our money into this to create the 46,000, or did we get that money from somewhere else?
No, we borrowed that money from the insurance company.
Right.
So that's kind of what we led off with in the intro. Is this is a new idea, but it's not a new idea. If you think about the equity in your home as an access to capital that is someone else's money, but you're getting to use your house in this case as collateral.
So that
now we're talking
$1.8
about
million
cash value.
sits as cash value. And so the insurance company actually turns around and loans us their money, uses ours as collateral. So we got that cash. And then what did we do? We turned around and invested in all of those items you just saw us talk about, which created $46,000. But Joey, is that money that we get from the insurance company free?
No.
No,
They
we had
do
to
not
pay them
give out free
interest.
money. They do.
We had to pay them interest, and last month's interest cost was how much?
Little over, it's right at $10,000.
So whenever at the very beginning I said we netted $36,000, that's because our positive was the 46, but we have to go in there and actually count what it cost us to borrow the money. And we don't always talk about that because sometimes that's a little more complicated for people who are listening to us for the first time, but we like to always add stuff as we're going through this process every single month, sharing not only what we're doing with our money, but where did the money come from? And challenge you, or if you've built your system, your infinite making system, if you have this pie set up in your life, are you utilizing it on a monthly basis? Are you utilizing it to get you closer to having more passive income than you have monthly expenses? So these are questions that if you need answers to, go to what'swallstreet.com/quiz, and you can figure out where you stand in relationship to this process. Joey, every single month, people ask us the question, why do you guys show your personal numbers? What would you say?
One, it's a huge encouragement for you and I to stay focused on it. It helps us to stay really in tune with what's happening and to continue to push the limits on it and focus. If we don't have to bring this to the world, we have no accountability to it. And isn't that true about almost everything in your life? Like as soon as you start telling somebody that this is important to you, your brain starts focusing on it and your actions start revealing that those things are important to you. So that's exactly why we've been doing it, in my opinion.
Well, what you track grows. And we started this 4 years ago with $2,600 a month in passive income. It's continuously grown over the months to get us up to where we're somewhere near 50,000 a month in passive income on a pretty consistent basis. The beauty is what you track and report on grows exponentially. And so I'm just encouraging you to start tracking your numbers. If you don't have a scorecard, you can go to what'swallstreet.com/scorecard. We actually built this tool for you where you can go and keep up with this on your own. And that tool can help you stay accountable to yourself. But I would share it with somebody or join our community, and our community will give you support. You can get coaching. You can just show up to live events. You get all the insight and more by being a part of that. All right. Thank you as always for listening. Hopefully this was encouraging to you. Hopefully you got some new insights. We'll keep coming back each and every month to share new lessons that we learned around this. And I'm grateful for you listening. Have an amazing day.